just want to say hello to everyone. This is Let's Talk Nation with Brother Love and Greg. Brother Love and Greg Jackson. I'm Greg Jackson, but you're not Brother Love. So we're just going to get to the show real quick. We do have a special guest in the studio with us tonight, none other than a friend of the show, expert in the field of aggression management. We have a very important show that we're going to be talking about tonight with John Byrne, who is with aggression management. And so as we prepare to discuss what has happened here over the last week or so, we thought that it would be important to have an expert to come in and talk to us about aggression management. So, John, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, Greg. I'm really looking forward to our conversation, and I'm very proud to be a part of what you all do.
I understand. I appreciate it. So, as always, one of the things we like to do is we like to talk about how our weekend was and how things went. So, and Brother Stead and Brother Love Steed or Stead, I'm just going to ask you, how's your weekend this past weekend?
Well, I played golf for the first time in quite some time, and being here in Orlando, Florida, it was kind of hot out. And I did not play well enough that I would write home about.
Listen, it really happens.
But it was fun, though. It was great fun with friends and that sort of thing.
You know, listen, when I was playing golf quite a bit, one of the things they said, which is the absolutely true statement, no matter if you hit a good ball or a bad ball, you always want to come back to play golf. If you hit a bad ball, you want to come back to try to correct it. If you hit a good ball, you want to come back and try to repeat what you did.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's golf in essence.
That is golf in essence. That is golf in essence. Yeah. But let's kind of prime our conversation for tonight.
Yes.
And tonight's show, a good portion of the show, we want to talk about violence in our community, and in particular, violence in our schools.
Yes.
And also just talk about if there's some solutions, because a lot of times we talk about issues and problems, but we never talk about the solutions that may be available to folks in the community. But before we get to that, Brother Burns, you have to excuse me when I turn to my right and then further to my right and say to my good friend, Brother Love,
let's get it on.
No.
See, the timing was off.
Yeah, you can't come in late and then
say let's get it on.
Now, how's the weekend this weekend for you?
Weekend was great, man. And Greg, man, I tell you, it's a lot of things going on. People are really excited about just new opportunities. But, you know, there were some sad things that took place. And you engaged me. And, I mean, I missed the intro. And I'm sure you did a great one with our good friend in the studio. But that's one of the things that took place last week that has brought us to the point that the weekend, it was sad.
Yeah.
It was sad.
But listen, before we get to our conversation, because we just were starting to get into the reason why John Byrne has joined us tonight as an expert in aggression management. But for those who are listening and seeing these faces, you're tuned in to two of the most influential voices in Central Florida on Monday night podcast, Brother Love and Greg Jackson, the dynamic duo guaranteed to raise your IQ 10 to 15 points. And on some nights, Brother Burns and Brother Love, it gets up to 25 to 30 points.
Oh, wow.
If you want to be a part of tonight's show, all you have to do is hit 321-483-7002. Again, that's 321-483-7002 to talk to two of the most influential voices in Central Florida on Monday night podcast, Brother Love and Greg Jackson. Brother Love, let's get it on.
See, my timing was on for that, John. But John, would you agree with me? This brother is going to call a fight. He's going to be the show host for a fight. It's coming soon somewhere.
Yes.
I'd rather be, Tyson days are over.
Listen,
I don't know.
It's more likely that I'm going to start a fight before I call a fight. if you know what I mean, it's more like I'm going to start a fight before I call a fight.
But you're engaged in good trouble. But now I want to go back full circle, John, because we want to take advantage of your expertise. And we appreciate it. I know Greg is going through all of this, but we really appreciate you coming on this show to actually lend your expertise to something that, we continuously see it happen. And, I'm not sitting up here thinking that we can solve all the problems of the world, but we can help.
No, absolutely. And what was so striking about the shooting in Georgia is that law enforcement actually spoke to this young man and his father a little over a year before that occurred, because he had posted something saying he was going to murder people. And they went to him and they had nothing, they could do nothing about it. They had this conversation, but because they didn't rise to the level of probable cause, there wasn't much they could do about it. You see, our whole system, Brother Love, is designed around reacting to incidents, whether that's violence, whether that's sexual harassment, abuse, bullying, discrimination, all of those steps up to where violence occurs, we react to those things.
So let's do this real quick because we kind of just jumped into the conversation. I apologize.
Sure.
Let's talk to the people about what happened and why we're here. And so, Brother Love, he kind of touched on it, but let's talk a little bit of specifics as well. Last week in the state of Georgia, which is actually a state that I grew up in, I'm a native Floridian, but I grew up in Georgia. In Appalachia High School, a young man, 14 years old, walks into a school with an AR-15 style weapon and commits to shoot. The victims of his actions were 2 teachers and 2 students who were murdered at the hands of this young man, as well as 9 other individuals who were injured by his actions.
That's right.
One of the more striking things is that the kid, because of some of what was said is that maybe this was a result of bullying, but something that has come out is that he had only been enrolled in the school for 2 weeks. So if there was bullying, how much bullying happened within that course of 2 weeks? But the other more distressing thing, and this is going to catch us up to where we were, Brother Burns and Brother Love, the more distressing thing is that this kid had sent up a red flag a year before this incident happened. And it appears, Brother Love, Brother Burns, that not only did the local law enforcement fail that community, but the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, failed that community because they were well aware that this young man had expressed intentions of committing great harm to other people. And when they went to talk to him about it, they did nothing. And Brother Burns is absolutely right. We have become too accepting of law enforcement and other agencies being reactionary to these issues as opposed to being proactive. And that's the reason why Brother Burns is here tonight, because Brother Burns has a program, has a system that is proactive. Did I catch
That
something?
is correct. Yes.
All right. I just wanted to make sure that we
No,
got it
you've
on.
set it up beautifully. And let me just build on that in just a moment. The Parkland shooting, not far from where we are, there were 45 calls made on Nicholas Cruz's bad behavior to the school district, to the local sheriff's office, and even to the FBI. And no one felt the sense of urgency enough to have engaged with this young man, enough to have prevented 17 innocent lives.
John, on that note, and I want to just hit the pause button because we have the general who we have the benefit of being one of the best legal minds throughout. I mean, I'm not going to say here and throughout the country. Greg, let me ask this question because John really set this thing up perfect. You have individuals that calls have been made, authorities have been noticed. From a legal perspective, how do you gauge that they haven't committed an offense yet to where the law allows? I mean, I know there's been new legislation all over the country that's trying to identify these red flags to do something about it. How do you balance that?
You know, it's a slippery slope, but and I'm going to be 100% honest with you. But you know, I think that law enforcement, and in particular in circumstances such as this, rely too much on there's nothing we can do, and that's becoming too much of a problem, and that's becoming too much of an excuse when they go out and they identify individuals who are a threat to others and prove themselves to be a threat to others, and they were out there years, months, sometimes days ahead of time to have prevented this. And their excuse is there was nothing more that we could have done. That's why a system that Brother Burns has developed, I believe, is key in order to identify and able to take actions when you have someone that is exhibiting certain signs. And so, Brother Burns, with regards to aggression management,
yes,
can you talk our audience through the various steps that one can go through to determine if a person is reaching a level of taking catastrophic actions such as this young man did up in Georgia?
Well, the first thing we should do is step back just a moment and talk about the fact that how do we respond to these to start with, and then I can explain how it is that we do that differently. We approach it differently. Number one, violence, school violence, workplace violence, whatever kind of violence you want to call it. What is the response to it? It's called active shooter response training. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? It means you're responding to an active shooter who's already murdering your students and your faculty or your workplace and your employees. it's already way too late. Now, law enforcement will say, what is their chore? They will come in and they will, by practice, by training, step over the dead, dying, and or wounded victims to get to the shooter.
Mhm.
I understand that, but it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable because we can get out in front of this. There's a phrase called the moment of commitment. The moment of commitment is when an assailant decides to pull that weapon and start shooting. From that moment of commitment to when the first round is discharged is just 2 seconds.
Hmm.
No security, no law enforcement, no matter how well trained or equipped, can reliably be on scene in 2 seconds. With regards to our schools, I spoke to the director of operations of NASRO, the National Association of School Resource Officers, and asked that director, can an SRO, is there any reasonable reliance that an SRO can be on scene in 2 seconds? He said, absolutely not. So you're on your own, literally.
But
You gotta understand.
that is why I would say, and I agree with you, but that is why you have schools, you have law enforcement that are taking, unfortunately, these young the students as well as the staff through these active shooter drills because they know it's gonna take a period of time to respond, and you got school resource officers on site. But I don't have the expertise, and I'm gonna say we don't have the expertise from the law enforcement aspect. But John, what you bring to the table that Greg and I have loved for years is you bring the training that helps identify
Yes.
these red flags and what organizations, and I know schools and school resource officers are those entities that benefit from the type of training that your organization
Yes.
provides.
Yes. Primarily hospitals are, there are more not, according to OSHA, there are more non-fatal assaults in hospitals and healthcare than any other industry.
Mhm.
So that has been our clients for quite some time, our banks, but mostly corporations, things of this sort.
Mhm.
It's been very difficult to get into schools because they see there's a solution and there isn't.
Well,
The
because
solution-
the solution is what Brother Love is saying, a reactionary solution.
That's it. That's
they,
it.
they think that, and listen, and this is not necessarily a knock on the school board, unless they're presented with options and opportunities to keep our kids safe, and they don't listen. But the response or the solution that it seems they have is to prepare for a shooter to already be shooting,
That's it.
and
That's it.
that makes this much sense to me. Zero sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you have a program and a process where you can identify a person before it happens and get them the help and keep people safe from that person's actions.
Exactly.
And so, I guess just kind of going back to, to your program, what is it and how is it that your program is able to potentially identify a person such as a shooter in this case before something like this happens in our schools here in Central Florida?
Well, to start with, we step down from violence for a moment. Sexual harassment, abuse, bullying. Bullying represents someone exhibiting bullying kind of behavior.
Mhm.
You're reacting to someone who's exhibiting this behavior. You're not preventing it.
Yeah.
So the FBI calls it identifying someone on the path to violence. By identifying someone on the path, you're out in front of violence. You can actually have an opportunity to prevent the violence in the first place. We call that path the sequential successive precursors to violence. This enables us not just to focus on violence, but on sexual harassment, abuse, bullying, discrimination. So we can actually get out in front of things like bullying,
Yeah.
which is pervasive in schools today.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we do that. That's how we achieve it. Do you have that graphic?
Yeah. Hey, with our executive producer, Doc, can you put that graph up for us, please? And John, while he's putting that graph up, I have to recognize and say, and Greg and I are familiar in law enforcement. Man, you got folk who are doing a great job. Sheriff Lima, Seminole County Sheriff's Office.
Yes.
Greg, I can't say that without talking about our backyard with Chief McKinley with the Apopka Police Department. These guys, and they're engaging the community. They're working with schools, and they're working with those young people in terms of what it is they can do to look at how they can reduce the risk.
That's right.
John, your graph is up on the chart.
So what you're looking at here is the continuum of aggression. One of the things that we discovered 3 decades ago was there are two kinds of aggression. One we call primal, the other one we call cognitive. Primal aggression is built on the primal instincts of fight or flight. It's fueled by adrenaline, that connection between aggression, the production of adrenaline, the increase in the heart rate, and the resulting body language and behavior that we can both identify, but most importantly, we can measure it. When I was working with the military, we were using infrared. And if we could get a square inch of skin, we could identify a person's pulse rate and watch it go up and down based on the stimuli. This is hard science. But it also represents someone losing control, i.e. the adrenaline rush, right? So the higher you get on this continuum, the more you lose your quality of judgment, the more difficult it is to diffuse you.
So I'm looking at this chart, and
Yeah.
I see the continuum go from low, medium to high risk.
That's right.
So-
And that's so important.
So this scale, I mean, if you're basically teaching or training this, you see the different levels of risk.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So why is it when we say thousands upon thousands of times, if you see something, say something, and nobody's doing it, or not enough people are doing it? Because humans tend to do what they perceive as in their best interest, right? So they don't see getting involved as in their best interest, so they don't. It's that simple. So how do we change things? Number one, they begin to see as they go from stage 3 to stage 4 on this graphic, they're not just going from 3 to 4, they're going from low risk to moderate risk. And if they do nothing, they may be at risk. Secondly, they also see that at stage 1 and 2 and 3, this is when it's the easiest to get involved with someone. If they wait, it might get to 6 or 7 and they could become a victim. Now they have the impetus to get involved, and they do. We've seen that happen repeatedly over the last 30 years.
So now
So-
let's ask a question. So
Yeah.
how do you make a determination where the person is on the scale as they move through? How do you make that determination?
Well, the first thing we do is identify what is a baseline, and now we're looking for aggression deviations from that baseline, and then as they go up the scale from low risk, moderate to high risk. And first of all, let's take the primal side of this. Cognitive is intent-driven aggression. We'll get to that in a moment. But primal aggression is when someone comes to work and they're scattered and disjointed. That's the first level. Why are they scattered and disjointed? Something else is going on in their world. They are not coping. You see, when humans tend to do, when they're coping, then everything is copacetic. Let's take this example. You get up late. You go in for coffee and breakfast, there is none. You get 3/4 down the driveway when you realize it's garbage.
Everything is going wrong.
It's going, and all of these are little explosions that go up in your head. These are all triggers. So what happens? You now get to work and something goes wrong, and now you're escalating very quickly. So when someone comes in and they're not coping, because we cope, that's the difference. When someone stops coping, when one trigger begins to build on the next, you enter into what we call the escalation phase. And the escalation phase we call it mounting anxiety, because it changes us. It changes our body language, it changes our behavior, it changes the way we communicate with each other. We can identify these changes. Sometimes it's as simple as you come in and you're scattered and disjointed. Why? Because you're not coping with something. A person comes up to you, a trained individual comes up to you in a genuine and caring way. That's the important element. In a genuine, caring way, and says, "You look a little scattered today. Tell me about it." And you shut up. What's going to happen?
Person may just explode, and
Well,
it builds up.
if you do so in a genuine and caring way, they tend to think you care, and they respond to you in a positive way. Well,
how
how
much is this related to? And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but how much is this related to a skilled individual that, I mean, you just kind of helped me make a point. A person has to identify that, and you don't have a large pocket. I mean, I'm one of those folks that in my daily day, I'm ripping and running. I may not observe that.
Well, we train you to observe.
Oh, okay.
And we have 2 levels of training, because some people want to train all people with all skills, but that's not typical. So we train one level, the lowest level, we train what we call aggression first observers. These are people who are trained to identify these objective, measurable observables. These are not subjective references like scary, strange word in medicine that take you down the rat hole of he said, she says. This is objective, measurable observables of human-based aggression, which enable you to identify, and these are scientifically validated as reliable. So because they're so, and they're intuitive. So I'm often asked, how much education do you need to do this system? Not very much if you've lived life at all. Because what you're seeing, you're going to say, yeah, of course that's what it is. And this is where the scale, we're on the scale where it should be. So it is very easy to learn. It's very easy to utilize these precursors to these indicators.
John, here's what I got to ask you too. You talk, I mean, you're in hospitals. We talk about this being a good training for law enforcement and for schools. Is this a good training? I know it could be a good training across the board for any population, but what about the general public? What about faith communities? And me and Greg, unfortunately, when we started seeing some assaults, if you would, on the faith community, Greg and I, we did a show and we had some law enforcement that came and they talked about what churches could do to kind of put extra security and measures. But what application would this have for not just the faith community, but to pull the community at large together? Say here, but to break it down, John, because I love the presentation, but to break it down to the community and not dumbing it down, but making it a little bit more layman's terms.
Sure. So what do? I mean, right now, and law enforcement has their role, and it's an important one. But what are they teaching them? They're teaching them how to respond to an active shooter. So how do you get out in front, especially in a church-like community where you really try to care about people? Then it's more easy to go up to someone and say, "You look a little scattered today. Tell me about it."
Yeah, you're right.
And then you shut up. You know, some people say, "You listen." No, you shut up. Because what this person's going to do is they're going to start sharing with you what they're going through, what is causing them not to cope. And by that conversation in a caring way, you allow them to release what it is that's causing this anxiety, and they begin to diffuse right before your eyes.
Greg, I will say again, and I love what, man, you know, we have LCSWs, we got counselors, and I don't know, man. I'm just thinking that there's a skill behind that from, hey, and churches, community-based organizations, school teachers, administrators. What you're just saying, I think, is something that also needs to be teachable to a person like myself.
Yeah.
You know, somebody comes in and you're looking at them and you could tell that there's something wrong. And just a simple gesture of, you're all right. You know, everything good, and then, like you say, shut up and listen. Yeah, that's right. You're absolutely right.
So the question is this: just kind of in light of what brought us here, how would you implement your program or process into a school in Central Florida?
Excellent question. It is the beauty of this is that people tend to look at someone at entry. We'll talk about staff and teachers for a moment. They look at them at entry, and then they wait for something to happen. That's part of the problem. This is an ongoing element. You're engaging in a way that you have your first observers, and you want an army of them. They're out there. The bus operator who sees that child for the first thing in the morning. In a college level, you've got the janitorial system, where these are people going places that most people don't see, and they can be observers. So these are excellent people to be observers. Then you have certified aggression managers who are trained to engage and diffuse. Now, when I say diffuse, I'm talking about in a very special way. Again, humans tend to do what they perceive as in their best interest. So our challenge is, and our training is set up to do this, we identify this path that this person is on. We start to convince. By convincing, I mean we identify this path and we identify the consequences of this person continuing down the path. Remember, they want to do what they perceive as in their best interest. So we then offer them an alternative path that still addresses their issue, but by addressing their issue, they're now working on their own power. They're not just having me come in and say, stop that. They're saying, I see the path that you're on. I want you to see the consequences. Are those the kinds of things you really want to be exposed to? Now, here's an alternative path. If you go down that path, you're now doing it on your own power. Guess what I've just done? I prevented any subsequent violence from that person.
Right. John, you make it sound so simple, but I love the delivery because this is what our audience needs to hear. And I'm going to continue to go ahead and extend it, John. What you've been doing, man, definitely is a game changer. And you predominantly work with hospitals. But man, can you let our viewing audience, particularly schools, law enforcement, know how to get a hold of you, man?
And also elected officials in the legislature. I mean, not just at the local level, but I think that this is something that on the state level as well could look and see what processes can be put in place to be more proactive about keeping our children safe in schools.
You're absolutely right. And there is a program in the state of Florida called Fortified Florida. It's an app that was developed in 2018, and it was put out to all teachers, students, parents, anybody who wanted to get involved. And whatever you said was funneled through to the local law enforcement. Fortified Florida. Now, it's a good idea, but it's gone awry because anybody can say anything. And because of it, if you allow someone just to say whatever they're feeling, students especially, you're gonna violate HIPAA, FERPA, and the Civil Rights Act. So it now becomes exposed, so you have to now make it confidential. In our system, because we don't step on any of those landmines, it can be open to the public. And the beauty of it is that, and that's one of the things that I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to get in touch with the Department of Education to talk about replacing Fortified Florida with CAPS because it offers a more effective system. I've spoken to the police chief at Orange County Public Schools. He said, John, I like what you're doing, but frankly, I'm overwhelmed with what I have. I don't have the phrasing he used, I don't have the bandwidth. And that's part of the problem with this thing where anybody can say anything. And now you have to follow every single one of those up because if you don't and something happens, now you're liable.
And it's not resources out there available to follow all of those responses.
Exactly. So that's part of my initiative of trying to get with the state of Florida and the Department of Ed to see what we can do to help there.
Great idea, Greg, when you made the reference to John, getting engaged with our legislative leaders, our local elected leaders. I think the more dialogue that takes place, the closer you can actually get to getting across the finish line with a service that can actually save lives.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So John, hey man, we want to thank you once again, man. If you could look into that camera and let people know how to get a hold of it.
Yes, by all means. I am John Burns. The company is Center for Aggression Management. You can reach me at 407-718-5637. That's 407-718-5637. My website is aggressionmanagement.com. Aggressionmanagement.com. And you can get through to me that way as well.
John, once again, Greg and I, man, we thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you so much.
Hey,
thank you. Thank you for allowing me.
You got the contact information, and hey, please believe us. This is information you can definitely use. It'll save lives. We are going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Joe's European Quality Auto Repair.
Mercedes-Benz, BMWs, Jaguars, and Porsche. Joe's Quality Auto Repair specializes in European cars. Joe's Quality Auto Repair is located at 1240 State Road, 436 in Altamont Springs. Stop paying a king's ransom for your foreign auto repairs. Call Joe's Quality Auto Repair, mention Let's Talk Nation, and he'll beat certified dealership repair quotes by 30%. Call Joe's Quality Auto Repair at 407-409-6040. Again, 407-409-6040 for the best affordable and guaranteed European auto repairs.
Hey, welcome back to Let's Talk Nation. And hey, Greg, John is always on point, man.
Listen, man, just want to say thank you once again to John Burns, Brother Burns, for coming in tonight, sharing some very helpful and needed information about aggressive management and what can be done to get a step ahead of aggressive behaviors in schools and other soft targets in our community.
You're right. Hey, well, Greg, man, I hate to kind of put my foot on the pedal after information that John just delivered, man, but what else is happening, man? I mean, we got a lot of things going on, man.
You know what? One sad note that we have to mention is that an entertainment icon has passed away. Today, September 9th, 2024, James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader in the Star Wars series and numerous other films, The Sandlot, Coming to America, Conan the Barbarian. I think I remember him first as playing Alex Haley in the miniseries of Roots. Is how long I know, but he's been around in the entertainment industry for decades upon decades. And so today, James Earl Jones passed away at the age of 93, brother.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
hey, an icon. And Greg, you know, I do, and I apologize that we didn't do this in the opening of the show, but a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
Want to extend our condolences to Dr. Randy Nelson. He lost his sister last week. And so when I say Dr. Nelson is one of our brothers, man, I couldn't speak more power to it. Dr. Nelson, we want to extend the condolences to you and your family.
Absolutely. Yeah, hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to the Nelson family. And of course, he knows if there's anything that we could do, it's just a phone call away.
So Greg, I got something else for you, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what's going to be taking place tomorrow?
Of course I do. Of course I know it's taking place tomorrow. I mean, if anyone was watching the Biden-Trump debate in June, this is what you asked for. After that debate in June with Joe Biden and Donald Trump, Joe Biden, within a month of that debate, dropped out of the race, and the vice president of these United States assumed his position as the nominee for the Democratic nominee for president. And so now it's time to have a conversation about it. They're gonna get on television tomorrow and let's talk about it.
Hey, but Greg, you know, I will say to our audience, Greg and I, we're not big fans on polling, but Greg, what do you anticipate regarding the viewership of this debate?
No, I think the viewership is going to be through the roof. After the debate with Biden, after the Democratic Party was so up in arms, so to speak, and now that they have the candidate that they say that they wanted, I think that folks are going to be there to watch and listen and see exactly what the plan is on the Democratic side. The other thing, though, that's more interesting is that since Kamala Harris has taken the reins as the Democratic nominee, if I recall correctly, she's only done one interview, and that one interview was 16 minutes and 29 seconds. And so the American public, the Democratic voters, are looking, and voters, not just Democratic voters, but apparently Republican voters as well, are waiting to hear what her plan is for moving this country forward. Because up until this point, aside from a few things that she has mentioned, that Trump has mentioned, her thing has been that she needs to be elected because Trump is bad for the country. So we have to hear more than that at this debate. Much
Greg,
more than that.
so the debate is taking place tomorrow. Greg, where is it taking place at? I
I
mean,
mean, is it in Pennsylvania? Isn't it? I want to say it's in Pennsylvania somewhere.
One of the key states that.
One of the key states. And apparently, the polling, with recent looks at polling and things, apparently the polling for Kamala Harris is somewhat stalled right now. It hadn't gone down, but they're not seeing that trajectory of what it was going when she first announced and got into the race. I haven't heard in a little bit of time how much money has been raised because obviously, she could not keep up with the 100 million, 300 million, haul that she was bringing in. And I'm sure that slowed down a little bit. So I now think that things are starting to level off. This excitement is dissipating somewhat, and people really and truly want to hear now what is the plan and is that a viable plan?
Here's one for you, Greg, and I'm gonna ask this question to you.
Mm-hmm.
What's one of the things that you think people want to hear most about from both candidates?
If I had to guess about one thing that is of utmost importance, is going to be the border.
Okay.
A lot of folks want to know what's going to be done about the border. Kamala Harris was the border czar
Mhm.
for all practical purposes. There are news reports that are out there where they were asking her, when are you going to go to the border? Asking her, what are you doing about the border? And as a matter of fact, there was a time period where they said that she had abandoned her post as the border czar. Trump has been very vocal, and this is one of the things that when the debate was taking place with Biden, he was very vocal about the number of undocumented or illegal individuals who have come into this country. The fact that those individuals, a number of them have been found committing crimes in this country. As a matter of fact, I want to say that either you or Dr. Light were circulating a video, and I don't know if it's in Chicago or somewhere else. Colorado, where
Yeah.
now the Venezuelan gangs
Mhm.
are taking over housing projects and moving people out of their projects. There are a number of instances of violence across this country where the individuals committing the violent acts are those who are in this country illegally. Heck, I mean, less than a year ago in New York, there was a police officer who was assaulted by an illegal, I think 5 illegal, illegal immigrants, and there was nothing that could really be done because they were let off on
All right. I mean, released on their own recognizance.
Yeah. And so that I think is going to be a very, very big issue, particularly where non-Americans are receiving funds to stay in this country.
See, why are you taking away some of my thunder? Let me ask the question.
My bad.
So you already beat me to it. But Greg, that is one of the other issues, and you've seen it more and more in Chicago. But one of the items that really impressed me when you saw Stephen A. Smith, the announcer on ESPN, and he coined this, make this make sense to me, when he talked about all of the money that is being found. And come on, man, we're not haters for people to come and enjoy the American dream. We want to see people do it, but we want to see them do it the right way.
Right.
But then, is it Chicago or California where individuals that are coming to the country are receiving stipends like $4,000 a month? In Chicago,
That sounds like something California would do.
and in Chicago, you have community folk, and I'm gonna say black folk, that are going to the city commission meetings now and saying, how are you able to find money to do this when our communities are falling apart?
One of the things that's been said, and this is not a Kamala Harris thing, this is not a Joe Biden thing, this is a Democrat strategy thing, is that, on the Democrat side, that the plan has always been to allow as many illegal immigrants into this country as possible, because those individuals would then become voting citizens who would continue to vote and keep them into power. And so, if that was the game plan, it appears that plan is being worked up and being successfully worked up, because at that last count, from what I understand, there are approximately 15 to 20 million undocumented individuals who have gotten into this country since the time that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris took the reins as president and vice president of the United States.
So Greg, I wanted to address that, but then the other thing, because you stole what I thought would be one of the number one issues. I think the next issue that's going to run a close first, if not second, is people want to talk about the economy.
Of course.
What's taking place with the economy.
Of course.
And Greg, I mean, with the last jobs report, do you recall was it?
They didn't meet the numbers, and I think that for this month, I think that the numbers are supposed to be 188,000 or something, which is lower than what it was projected to be. And so, the jobs numbers aren't what people would expect in a booming economy that we're being told we are in right now. Because remember, they're telling us that everything is fine. We're being told that gas prices aren't too high. We're being told that food prices aren't too high. That this economy is working. But if we go and we talk to everyday people, this economy is not working. This economy is causing individuals to make hard decisions between, do I put gas in my car or do I put food on my table?
And I believe that's what people are going to be listening for. No matter, from both candidates, I think people are going to want to hear what are some of the solutions to undocumented immigrants coming into the country. What are some of the solutions to impacting and addressing the economy? Greg, I also still believe people are going to be having conversations to talk about the plight of American citizens, the homelessness that's taking place. What are we doing to address that? What are we doing to address veterans that have served this country that are living on the streets?
Yeah, but listen, I mean, I think also, people need to be very careful because they keep saying and thinking that Kamala Harris is going to get on the stage with Donald Trump and going to destroy Donald Trump. Keep a couple of things in mind. Donald Trump dismantled one of the great political minds in the 2016 presidential election cycle when he went up against Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is probably one of the most brilliant political minds that's out there. Donna Brazile and others and things like that. But I mean, someone who was in the White House as the first lady, someone who was in the Senate.
I haven't heard that name in a long time. Brazile.
Someone who's been in the governor's mansion in Arkansas. So she knows her way around politically, and Donald Trump easily handled her. The other thing that folks need to keep in mind is that when Kamala Harris was on the debate stage as a potential presidential candidate in 2019, she could not even make it to the first primary, if I recall correctly, and she was dismantled by Tulsi Gabbard, who was a member of the House of Representatives and is nowhere near the debater that Donald Trump is. So listen, I'm looking forward to it. I hope that Kamala Harris comes out with some great ideas and some great policies for me as a Democrat to sit back and really think about. But it is not a done deal for myself or a lot of other Democrats in this country. I mean, I've been a big advocate on if I don't like anybody, I don't vote for nobody.
Great, but one of the things that we've said from day one with Let's Talk Nation is we're going to provide you information.
Yep.
We are just encouraging people to look and do your own research and make decisions for yourself, but do what's best for you and your family.
Absolutely. So, but Brother Love, as we start the transition, I believe that we're going to have a special caller that's going to be calling in tonight to talk to us about an annual golf tournament that is a local event to help raise monies and funds for the youth. And so we'll be waiting, very intently and anticipatorily for that.
I hear this individual is a member of one of the
greatest.
The greatest. I knew that was coming.
Greatest fraternities in the history of the world.
I knew that was coming. But Greg, man, I tell you, man, there's a lot of things, exciting things, man, are taking place.
Absolutely.
And we just got to be at the table, man.
No, absolutely. But as we also prepare to transition to to the next topic and different things like that, what we also need to keep in mind, Brother Love, is that the election is almost here.
Yeah.
Yes, we're talking about the debate and different things of that nature, but in 2 months, literally, Brother Love, we're going to be talking about who the next president of these United States is. It seems like just yesterday that we were talking about in January, hey, election cycle is almost here, but we don't know what's going to happen. It's just 2 months away, Brother Love.
Right around the corner.
Just right around the corner.
We've been counting down, Greg. I mean, when everything took place, how many days was it before when President Biden stepped down? It left, 100 and some odd days?
Right at like 120, 115, something like that. And
something, I mean,
never happened.
Never happened.
Yeah, it never happened like this. Remember, Richard Nixon did resign, or was impeached and decided that he was going to allow Gerald Ford to take the reins in that regard. But yeah, this is historic because it's never happened this way before. Of having a president to say, "Hey, look at me, I'm running for re-election," and then all of a sudden saying, "You know what? Let me let somebody else do this," with no real explanation as to why. I mean, I think we discussed as to why it was because there was a serious concern.
But Greg, I don't know if we've ever seen the concern that escalated through its own party.
Yeah.
Through its own party now.
Yeah. I mean, listen, brother, everything about what has happened in politics over the past 4 years has been surprising and has been unprecedented. And this election cycle is going to prove itself to be no different than what we've seen the last couple of years. And so, like I said, it's going to be very interesting to watch, and very interesting to get the information that's needed in order to determine who's the best person to lead this country. And what we have to get away from is we have to vote for someone just because of the color of their skin. And I don't care if we're talking about someone who is black, someone who is white, someone who's Hispanic. We can't just keep going back to the default of, I'm just voting for him because there's this color.
But and you're right, man. I mean, it goes back to us constantly saying, do your research.
Absolutely.
Do your research.
Absolutely.
So, Greg, what else do we have on the radar, man? I mean, we got we have runoffs that's taking place here in the local community.
We do have runoffs that's taking place. So, we have Commissioner Uribe for the district, county commission District 3 race. Her opponent in that race is Linda Stewart. There's been some interesting things that have come about, and I've been watching the news and different things like that. But listen, it is what it is at this particular point, and we'll sit back and we'll wait and see. It has been no secret, Brother Love, and if people don't know, they will know that individually, not as Let's Talk Nation, but individually, we have given our support to Commissioner Reba.
And I mean, she's been doing a fantastic job, man.
Listen, when she came in and she sat down and talked to us about the work that she's doing in order to maintain accountability in county government and not just throwing money at old programs without getting a good or clear understanding as to how those programs really and truly aid and benefit the community. That's the type of thing that I wanted and like to hear.
She was drilling down, Greg. I mean, when she came into to the studio and she talked about Visit Orlando, and she drilled down when she talked about $35 million of taxpayer dollars in the bank.
Yeah. Just sitting there.
Yeah, but she's put in the work, and she has become a student of what people elected her for. And so, man, I tell you, I take my hat off to her, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also not a runoff, but an actual election that's going to be coming up is for the Orange County, Osceola County State Attorney's Office. That's the 9th Circuit State Attorney's Office. And, we have, two candidates that I think is going to be a very interesting race and a very interesting election cycle. You have the former state attorney, Monique Worrell, who was removed by the governor because it was his determination that she was not doing her job in much the same way that her predecessor was removed by the predecessor of the governor now. And she is running against someone who has jumped in and has started putting in some work and who is a former judge. Yeah. I mean, he's not just coming somewhere and just putting himself in this position. He's a former judge here in Orange County by the name of Andrew Bain, who is now the state attorney for the Orange and Osceola counties, and he has been doing a bang up job. And I think that he has, renewed the confidence in that agency at this point.
Yeah, absolutely correct, man. I mean, at the level that he has gotten engaged at the community-based level, keep in mind, his job is public safety.
Right.
And so, Greg, I mean, I can't say enough about what he's been doing in the community. Greg, I just been noticed that we have an individual who is backstage, and he said he's one of your frat brothers. I don't know. I want to hear him say that out loud in front of our audience.
Yeah, we're going to make a determination here shortly.
All right. Hey, we'll tell you what, if our executive producer would bring on our illustrious guest, man, I tell you, I'm looking forward to hearing about this law firm.
Yes, absolutely. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
How are you, Mr. Davis?
I'm doing great. Doing fantastic. Yes. Community of all time. Doing great. Doing fantastic. Community of all time.
So, Brother Davis, it's good to see you as always, man. It's been a while, and I know that we had a chance to talk last year, and this is a very important event that's taking place. So why don't you talk to Let's Talk Nation about what the brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha, first of all, transcending all, and the greatest of all is doing?
Absolutely. So we're really excited. The brothers of Delta Xi Lambda here in Orlando are excited to be partnering with the Hankins Johnson Education Foundation to host our 3rd annual Golf Classic. It will be on September 20th out at Eagle Creek. We'll get teams underway at 8:30 a.m. And we're certainly looking for additional golfers. The Divine Nine, where are you? We're also looking for additional sponsors as well.
So what can folks do in order to get involved, get engaged, to get a foursome or a single or whatever it is that they need to do to not only support, but to come out and show what type of skills they have on the golf course?
Exactly. So just simply go to hjef.golfclassic.com and you can register there, or you can go to hankinsjohnson.org. You can also find the golf event listed there and register. Again, it's an opportunity to come out and just register yourself. If you can put a team together, that's awesome as well. But everyone is welcome. It's a great day, great opportunity for networking. It's all for a really great cause because our focus is on building stronger communities through youth development, right? So we provide academic scholarships to graduating high school seniors, We have a mentoring program for boys in grades 7 through 12. We work with the Head Start programs here in Orange County and in Orlando. We also launched a STEM club for elementary age kids this past spring semester in one of the schools here in Orlando. So a number of ways that you can support the things that we're doing in the community.
So now, in terms of, and I talked a little bit about the, about the golfers and things like that. What about sponsorships? How does one sponsor or become a sponsor, and what are the various levels that folks can consider for sponsorship?
Right. Yes, absolutely. Sponsorship is a great way for us to have you be a part. If you're not a golfer, you can sponsor a hole for as little as $250. You can be a bronze member for $500. That will include you being able to play a round of golf as well, and you'll be represented with all of our marketing.
Brother Davis, Brother Davis, I don't mean to interrupt you, but let me ask you this question. Do y'all have a Let's Talk Nation sponsorship hole yet?
We do not, and it would be wonderful to have a Let's Talk Nation.
All you had to do was ask, Brother Davis. That's all you had to do. I can just say, hey, where's our Let's Talk Nation sponsorship at?
Where's that sponsorship, brother? Where's that sponsorship? We need it. Yes, we do.
Hey, Brother Davis, I'm impressed with the work, and I'm not just saying this because my brother's sitting next to me,
right.
But I'm impressed by the community work that the Alpha's been putting in, man.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. It's really important. There is a real need to work with our youth, to engage them and help them understand the possibilities, right? And so it's all about exposure and exposing them to the positive things that exist in our communities, so that they can understand that there's just the sky's the limit in terms of their development, their growth, and their contribution to the community once they're of age to do so.
Outstanding. So Brother Davis, all you got to do, and I think you may have sent the flyer, but send us the link. Let's Talk Nation is going to sponsor, at the very least, a hole. We might do a little bit more, but we want to make sure that the Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha, my fraternity, understands and knows that we are in full support of what Delta Xi Lambda is doing, the great work that the fraternity is doing in the community. And listen, brother, tell the brothers, I know I got to come to a meeting. I know this. When I find out, I promise you I'm coming. I'm telling you I'm coming, man. Let the brothers know. I'm paying my dues. I do pay my dues. Don't get me wrong. But I'm coming to a meeting, Brother Davis. I promise, man.
Hey, I know you will. And I know you'll be there for the luncheon on the 20th. You'll be out there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Davis, before you leave, man, I got to say, do the Alphas get engaged in voter outreach, training, and engagement?
Yes, absolutely. We're
I already knew the answer to that question when I asked. So here's what I want to make sure you know and our viewing audience knows is a good friend of Greg and ours, who happens to be the supervisor of election, has launched what's called OC Vote, Orange County Voter Outreach Training and Engagement. And it's an opportunity for organizations like the Alphas, but this is across the board to the entire community, that you can actually apply for micro grants to get out the information about voting. How do you access voting? To educate folk about how do you go get your mail-in ballot to come to your home? How do you find out what precinct you're supposed to vote at? So, Brother Jackson, what the Alpha's been doing, and I'm going to give a credit to those Kappas, those Qs, the sororities out there.
Divine Nine. Yeah. Like Brother Davis said,
yes.
Divine Nine. That's right.
Divine Nine. We're absolutely partnering together to get out and reach as many communities and as many homes as we can and potential voters. We had brothers working last weekend as part of the phone bank effort, and we'll be canvassing up this upcoming weekend as well. So we have a full schedule leading right up until the election to be as involved and as engaged in the communities as much as we can to raise people's awareness and provide voter information and education.
Hey, thank you. Hey, you know what? Thank you, but Pinto and also the young brother,
Brother New Pinto and Brother Battles.
Yes, they are working extremely hard to keep us engaged.
Absolutely. But Brother Davis, we took you kind of off topic because you're here to talk about the educational component, what's taking place. Once again, just let the folks know about the date of the event, what's taking place, and how they can be a part. And don't forget to send us that link to. But go, Brother Davis, let folks know what they need to do and how they can do it.
Will do, absolutely. So it's the Hankins Johnson Education Foundation Golf Classic, September 20th, Eagle Creek, hjeffgolfclassic.com, or go to hankinsjohnson.org, and you'll find the event listed there as well. You may sponsor a hole for as little as $250, and we'll certainly welcome you to come out and play with us.
Hey, listen, Brother David, as always, man, it's good to see you. Good to hear your voice. And listen, man, Let's Talk Nation is always here to support what the Brothers of Alpha Alpha are doing, man. So keep it going.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate the support. Look forward to the next opportunity. See you soon.
Thank you, Brother Davis.
All right, take care.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Hey, Brother Jackson, man, I tell you what, man, I'm proud of what those brothers out there doing.
You know, listen, we talk a lot of trash back and forth between the fraternities and things like that, but you know, the truth of the matter is that we're all doing some great work, respectively. I don't want to say I just so happen to be, because this was very purposeful for me to become a brother of Alpha Phi Alpha. But I am an Alpha, and I'm very proud of the work that the brothers are doing at Delta Xi Lambda, and as a fraternity as a whole. But I'm also very proud of the Kappas. I'm also proud of the Zeta Phi Betas and the Phi Beta Sigmas and the Omega Psi Phis and the AKAs, and I apologize, the Sigma Gamma Rhos, the Delta Sigma Thetas, all of the organizations, the Divine Nine, that do their respective work to help our community to grow, to become educated, to be well versed in how to be better citizens in this country.
Man, I'm not gonna even try to follow up behind that, man. Greg, I'm just gonna say thank you to the Divine Nine. Thank you for the work that they do, brother. I mean, we've reached the point and part of this show, man, that it doesn't get any better.
Oh, not at all, brother.
It doesn't get any better. So, hey, Brother Jackson, once again, man, I want to thank you for having your fraternity. And I know I haven't played golf in 6 months or so, so I don't, I've watched your swing before too, brother.
You ain't gonna see me out there swinging no golf club.
Hey,
it's been 6 months for you. Tack on a whole bunch more time that for me, man.
I'm with you.
Last time I went out and I tried to golf after the time, I threw out my shoulder.
Well, I throw out my shoulder all the time now.
Yeah.
Hey, Brother Jackson, man, once again, we have another great night, man. Love the topics. Some of them sad, but we got to get them out.
Absolutely.
Brother Jackson, you do not have to go home.
But you got to get out of here.
Until next week on Let's Talk Nation, hey, tune in and join this conversation.